We are having a young star from Kerala living in Goa, Mr. Nikhil, and his predictions in Parashray are completely stunning. Now I will hand over to Mr. Nikhil. He will introduce himself to our audience.
A very good evening to one and all. My name is Nikhil Prasad. I'm an astrologer, or you can call astronomer, a strong fan of the Parashara stream of astrology system, and I'm operating from Goa. Basically, I hail from the state of Kerala. So today we can see that most of the people focus on the KP system of astrology rather than the Parashara system. Maybe because of the easy calculations and the easy aspect part in the KP system, the millennials of the current generation may dive head on into the KP system. But as we can see, the KP, more than KP system, the Parashara system requires more attention to the details like the dashas, the transits, the aspects. Even Rahu and Ketu aspects are considered extremely at the microscopic level in the Parashara system. So the accuracy of the Parashara system is beyond our consideration actually. So here, no, I'm seeing this. Our Jagjit sir is having so much interest in this astrology system, and so I feel it is very. I mean, he's taking time out of his busy life as a media person, and he's investing it into this holy and sacred contribution of the ancient Indian culture called Vedic astrology. So, first of all, I need to thank Jagjit sir for his efforts.
Thank you very much. Actually, it is very much of everybody's faith and belief in astrology. And yes, in media, I'm just into YouTube, but I'm a jeweler, and I got interested in astrology right from the age of 20. Since now I'm 43, it's 23 years of continuous research in astrology.
Oh, great,
And
great.
to be very frank, the time when I started, it was a communication through letters. We never used to have the mobile, never used to have the technology,
Okay.
and we never knew our letter reached to the end destination or not.
Oh, okay. So much uncertainty in those times.
Those times we were too much uncertain, and if we wanted somebody's telephone number, it was very difficult to get.
Okay.
So it you can say past 10 years was just researching people who were where rather than researching about the books and things about them. And I'm situated in Gulf, so the ancient text and everything is very less over here as
Oh, okay.
compared to how easy it is in India.
Mhm.
Only the way to get in touch with astrologers, people connected to astrology, that was the only medium. And I want it to be more easier. Whosoever connects to us,
Hmm.
it becomes easy for the person to understand the basic knowledge.
Mhm.
And I'm really very thankful to you, Mr. Nikhil, actually, for taking out your time and really discussing about the subject,
My pleasure, sir.
because
My
very
pleasure.
few people they want to take the time and
No, we should consider it as our duty, so that our country's contribution, our motherland's contribution of Vedic astrology reaches far and wide.
Actually, I would like to add about this because with one of the interactions with somebody, I also understood that this is our karmas.
No, yes.
How much we will give,
Hmm.
the more we will get. Maybe
Yes.
in this life, my journey for to travel to this place was 10 to 20 years, but maybe I will cover up that 20 years in my next life.
Yeah, yes. Yes. Definitely, sir. Everything is karma, actually.
Very true. So, understanding that you were first into the European method of astrology,
Hmm.
and you saw that there are some loopholes in that, and there is accuracy in
Yes.
Parashray.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And when I came to this industry and understanding about these things, I saw Parashray is least actually practiced.
Hmm.
But when I saw you speaking about the Navmansh,
Hmm.
I found you are the proper person to speak about the Navmansh and what is the real importance of Navmansh. Because for a layman, it is 30 degrees divided by 9. So, what would you like to add about the Navmansh and how important it is? Because there is like in our last video, uh, there is a general misconception Navmansh is only for marriage,
Ah,
and
yes.
people have fixed their people have fixed the age also for that thing.
Yeah, 35, 33, like that, they'll fix.
So, what would you like to add on this?
Actually, sir, I feel this as when in our sacred scriptures it is written that Navamam, which is nicknamed as D9, is actually a microscopic part of the D1 chart, which is Navam. Now means 9 Amsha. Amsha means division. So it means the 9 division of a sign used for the microscopic aspects of life, such as our career, marriage, and our old age also. Basically, Navam shows our luck factor. Actually. Not only that, our D1 chart or the Lagna chart changes every 2 hours only. And within the same 2 hours, thousands of people will be born around the world. So, but the Navam chart changes for every 13 to 14 minutes. So, which is more accurate, D1 or D9? D9 is more accurate
D9.
because D9 changes within every 13 or 14 minutes. So, it helps in more precision for our predictions. Because there will be so many people born at the same time. This Navaman helps us to pinpoint the correct problem or where the subset of the D1 chart.
So, if I want to make a small correction over here or a small addition over here for a upcoming person, when we said 13, is it the same 13.20 degrees of the nakshatra? That is the movement of nakshatra.
No. This has no correlation with that. Actually. This is just the time period which we convert here, like 13 to 14 minutes actually. Not that nakshatra. This has nothing to do with that nakshatra factor. It's our normal timing actually. The other
So
D1 chart changes.
Only the Lord changes according to that calculation.
Ah, yeah, yes, sir. Yes. The D1 chart, I mean, if we observe the D1 chart for people born within 1 hour, it will be same, right? For the people born at the same time.
Even twins, it will be the same.
Even twins, it will be same actually. But Navamans will be changed every 15 minutes or 13 minutes, it will change actually. So it will help give us more accuracy to predict it. Suppose you're looking at a doctor's birth chart or an MBBS student's birth chart, and you want to know which specialization he will take in his further life. For that, you need the Navamans. To tell that a person will go into MBBS or into nursing or into Ayurveda, we can use the D1 chart. But to tell whether the person will become a gynecologist or a cardiologist or a surgeon, we need the Norman chart. That's the analogy I can use here.
And can I make a small correction? Can I make a small addition? Sorry to use this word. Can I make a small addition over here?
Definitely,
Like
sir,
we
definitely.
say, ninth house
Hmm.
is the nourishment from father,
Hmm.
and 10th house is nourishment after we get married or
Hmm.
after we leave the father's house.
Hmm.
So ninth house becomes very important, and
Yes,
so when we take the Naumanch, what is the position of ninth house? Is the ninth house same as the ninth house? It will be, or how we will do the calculations in Naumanch?
actually, there is no rule that the ninth house of the D1 chart will be the same ninth house or the Lagna in the D9 actually. There is no correlation like that actually. The calculation is such that for the signs like Aries, if it's for Aries, it will start from Aries itself. For Taurus, it will start from Capricorn. And for Gemini, it will start from Libra, depending on the Lord actually. For every 3 degree and 20 minutes of the Nakshatra Pada, the Naumanch will change. Suppose you are born in 10 degrees. If the ascendant is in 10 degree in Aries in the D1 chart, in the Naumanch, we should calculate from the first 3 degree 20 minutes, next 3 degree 20 minutes, next 3 degree 20 minutes. So your actual Naumanch Lagna, because your ascendant is actually in Aries 10 degree in the D1 chart, your actual Naumanch Lagna should be in the third division, the third 3 degree 20 minutes. From 6:41 minutes. First will be from 0 degree to 320 minutes. 3 degree 20 minutes. Second will be from 321 to 640. The third will be from 641 to 10 almost. So that should be the actual Naumanch Lagna. So just with our 9th house or our Lagna has no correlation with the Naumanch Lagna. It can be or it cannot be, depends on the rest of the calculation. For movable signs, the counting for Naumanch starts from the sign itself. For movable signs, such as for Capricorn, the counting of Navamsha will be from Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and so on. But for dual signs, the counting will be from the 5th sign from itself. For Gemini, counting will be from Libra, Scorpio, and so on. And for fixed signs, the counting will be from the 9th from itself. For Taurus, counting will be from Capricorn, Aquarius, like that it will be. So there is no correlation between the D1 Lagna and the there's no rule like the D1 9th house or the D1 first house will be having the same position in the Naumanch. It depends on the calculation.
Just a small question. What you will say about a Jupiter and a Ketu connection? It is called Gajkeshari Yoga.
Oh, yes.
And that is one of the good Raj Yogas to be considered in Parashar.
Yes, sir.
So can you add a little bit light on the Gajkeshari Yoga and the cancellation of Gajkeshari Yoga?
The cancellation?
Yeah. Because there is a Neej Bang Yoga also.
Yes. Actually, among these yogas, whenever a yoga is very common, then we can make sure that a particular yoga it won't be useful to an individual actually. If a yoga is very common, suppose with Mercury and Sun, it will be Buddha Aditya Yoga. Almost 90%
common yoga.
Very common.
90% of the people
will have Sun conjunct Mercury. So these kind of yogas, like suppose Raja Yoga, even people who live in extremely humble backgrounds will have a Raja Yoga. So when a yoga is very common, it will not make much of an effect in the individual's life. But when if a yoga is very rare, suppose hunch punch yoga, those kind of yogas, and suppose a person is having hunch punch yoga, and currently with that the person is having very small ears, or person is having an extra finger on the hand, when all these factors come together, the particular yoga will exert more influence on that person. And regarding Nijabhanga yoga will first play havoc on our lives. Then only it will give the benefit. Suppose people with Nijabhanga yoga in cancer, in the beginning of their life, they'll have extreme emotional struggle. Suppose Mars.
Okay, yes, Cancer is moon. Cancer is moon. Okay.
Yeah, suppose Mars is suppose Mars is debilitated in Cancer, and Moon is also staying in the first house. For such people, definitely they'll be having Nijabhanga yoga.
Yes.
And then suppose for an extra addition, Jupiter is also staying in the fifth house of Scorpio for Cancer. Then so Jupiter will be aspecting the ninth aspect of Jupiter will be there. So
Yes,
Nijabhanga
very
yoga will definitely will be there for the person, but till that person's 24th or 25th age, the person will go through extreme emotional struggle.
Okay.
Then only, from the 30s only, the person will start getting the good benefits of that yoga. Should we go into yoga deep or later, or shall we go into Navamsh?
Navamsh we will be going. Sorry, actually, it got a little bit deviated.
Yeah, sorry.
So coming to the Navamsh back, I suppose if I have a Gajkeshri yoga in my D1 chart,
Okay.
that is not reflecting in the Navamsh for sure.
Okay.
90% of the time, it will never be there.
It will never be there.
So, what is the calculation that I should take as a beginner?
So actually, then you will not have any effect actually. There won't be any noticeable effect of the Gajkeshri yoga in your life. That's the conclusion. Only if it's there in both the charts, we can tell that yoga holds a significance in your life. Because you are having Gajkeshri yoga in D1 chart and you are not having Gajkeshri yoga in D9 chart, you will not have any noticeable effect of the Gajkeshri.
Actually, Zoom has extended over time.
Sorry?
We got the notification for the extension of time from
Okay.
Zoom.
Okay.
Okay, now I will ask you the same question the other way around.
Okay.
If this promise is there in D1 and D9, it is not there. You said you have already given the answer.
Yes.
What about the other way around? If it is there, if it is not visible in D1 but visible in D9?
Whenever such a thing happens, when it's visible only into the D9, even if that yoga doesn't manifest also, the person will feel that the yoga manifests.
Okay.
The person's mind will trick him into feeling that yoga is happening in my life. But to an outside astrologer, when you look at that particular chart, you won't be, or when you observe that person's life, you can see the Gajkeshri yoga doesn't manifest. But the person's mind will trick him into feeling that the yoga is manifesting. And he may even provide one or two evidences, okay, which he considers inside his own mind. Actually. There's something called confirmation bias. It's a bias of our brain, okay. Because of so much evolution, because of extreme evolution, our brain has certain biases. So suppose we know people who tell that whenever they go for a bath, the phone rings. You have, I think, there are people like that.
Yes.
But when we observe for an entire year, if we are taking bath daily, 365 days, maximum 10 or 20 days happens like that. The phone rings in the middle of the bath. But still the person will claim it's whenever the person goes for
very evident. Yeah, it is very evident.
Yeah, the same thing will happen when the Gajkeshri yoga is happening only in the person's Navamam chart.
Okay.
The effect is not
So,
there actually.
okay, so it is more like you will say it is a play of mind.
Yeah, it's a play of mind actually.
Okay. What would be your input for Navmansh and the importance of Navmansh now?
See, November should be seen only with the D1 chart by your side actually. Whenever we are observing the November, the D1 chart should be our focus actually. The November is very important to predicting minute events. Suppose you want to know whether you are going to buy a car or not. Those things you can see from the D1. But you want to know which color car you are going to buy. That you have to see from the November. Suppose you are buying a black car, or suppose you are buying a sedan, suppose you are buying an SUV. Those things you can see from the norms. But you can see when you will buy a car, or whether you will buy a car, or whether you have multiple cars. Those we should see from the D1 chart. But these two should be always be on our side to side actually. When we draw the chart, or when we cast the birth chart, these two should be on our radar. Then only the prediction will be accurate. Suppose you are having the same Lagna, you are having a Vargottama Lagna in both D1 and D9, then definitely your lifespan will be very good. It will actually, it's adding strength to your life actually. When the
Okay.
same plant is, yes sir.
Now we are going through a phase which is going to be very crucial for everybody, and many people will come to you knowing you as an astrologer.
No, yes sir.
What is the thing in particular they should do, or in their chart they should look to get a
Actually,
proper career guidance?
career guidance. Career guidance, the law of precision, or the law of what they tell, if something is, even in astrology also, if a person is bound to have a good career, definitely that effect will be shown at the first glance of the birth chart. Suppose indications like sun in the 10th house, or any good planets in the 10th house, except Saturn, except Malefics for a particular ascendant, all the good planets or the yoga karakas in the 10th house, definitely that shows a good career.
So, what if the person is having no planets in the 10th house?
Then we can say it won't be the person will have to do so much hard work in the career section. But whenever there are no plants in any particular house, then there won't be much drama in that house. There are
Sorry,
many
I
people
couldn't follow
who
that.
there are many people who panic because they tell that they don't have any planet in the 10th house. You might have also encountered many people panic. They say, I don't have any planet in the 10th house. What can I do like that? Actually, when we don't have any planet in the 10th house, we don't have to panic actually. It shows that there won't be many sudden changes in that house. When we don't have many planets in a particular house, there won't be many sudden changes in that area, in that career section. So in this case, for 10th house, there won't be any sudden changes. If he takes a job, he will continue that for a long time without any problems. No problem from co-workers, no problem from authority figures. Actually, when we have planets only, when we have multiple planets in the 10th house, even though a person may have a good career, there will be sudden changes. As you all know, changes are not welcome always. Changes are not welcome in anyone's life. Sudden changes, whether it be good or bad.
Okay,
So
so
we don't have to.
let us take the example of Malefic planet
Okay.
owning the 10th house.
Perfect
Let's say
plan
Venus.
only Venus in Taurus in 10th house. Venus in Taurus in
Yeah,
10th house,
Taurus is
meaning
10th. Yeah.
because it's own house. So because a plant will never harm his own house, whatever happens. Because we will always be comfortable in our own home, right?
No, no. A 10th house owned by Venus, but no planet in it.
Okay, good. 10th house owned by Venus, no plant in it. And no aspect also from 4th house, you mean. And no aspect from 4th
No
house.
aspect from the 4th house.
then the person will have, actually the career will be, even the career will be not be extremely what it is, encouraging, but the career will be stable actually.
So the medical plan also give benefit results over there.
Yes, yes. It's not, I'm not telling it will be benefit, but the person won't have any problems in that area.
Okay.
Even though the person will take time to get it, he will not deal with sudden loss of job due to a recession or sudden loss of job or sudden salary cuts. Those things won't happen in the work
Okay.
when there are no plans in the country.
So now we have to consider the aspects of the planets.
Yes,
And you know
that
I'm
should be
working on and you know that I'm working on this project actually.
yes, yes.
So the aspects is very important thing that
Yes.
has to be seen.
Hmm.
For the 10th house and the 11th house to get a job and a career.
Hmm.
That was my main that was my main reason I came to the aspects. Because now we are going to face a time where 90% of the people approaching us will be
Hmm.
either loss of a job
Yes.
or finding new goal in the life.
No, yes, 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 sir. Because of this epidemic also, people will feel desperate actually.
So to help a normal person, that was my main concern. To help a normal person rather than rushing to an astrologer or getting panicked,
Yes.
they can sit at home and analyze
Hmm.
with the help of Mr. Nikhil.
Okay, sir. I hope it will be useful.
Definitely, it has to be because now we will talk deeply only about the careers
Hmm.
and the job related things and what will be the role of D1 and D9 in it.
Okay. For to know the career, first we should know the first house. Suppose first we should see how many planets are located in the, whether any planets are located in the 10,000 D1. Then we should take that to consideration. Then we should observe its position in the Naumanch. Then we should also focus on the Atma Karaka, because Atma Karaka shows the aim of our life, actually, the purpose of our life, why we are. What's our soul's need. Then the
Okay,
Atma Karaka.
so Atma Karaka, if I'm to describe Atma Karaka, how can I describe Atma Karaka?